Come on! Dig in! Dig in! Come on!
The next wall's not going to be easy for the smaller people.
If these guys were first time into the army, then I'd say I'd be very, very happy.
We've got a really strong team where everyone gets along. We've got some really talented rowers and some really good personalities, which is what you want, and I'm really happy.
Oxford's squad has rarely looked so strong. 4 Athens Olympians are fighting for a place in the boat.
100% world-class athletes. I'm in awe every time I step into the gym. You know, in my little boat club, I was the star athlete. Not even close here.
I think the potential with the guys from the Olympics is you know, it's going to be, these are going to be the quickest crews in the country this year. That's an impressive feat for a bunch of students.
British international Andy Triggs-Hodge, or Hodgie, has the potential of a Pinsent or a Redgrave. Athens was his first Olympics. Then he took a month off. After that holiday comes Hodgie's hell.
I've got to be in lectures in -2 minutes. So dash off and find a nice quiet pew.
For the Dark Blues, there has been no bright morning sunlight or deep winter sunsets. Mequinenza in Spain feels like Morecambe. The clouds have added to the claustrophobia. 10 days together with nothing to do but think about selection.
We come here to get some good training, pull the team together and look at some selection with coxed fours, rowing next to each other, racing, swapping people from one boat to another, racing again and looking at the difference.
Today sees powerhouse Joe von Maltzahn
See what happens, won't we?
up against the more technically gifted Colin Smith.
OK, good luck.
Today, Oxford race Leander, the #1 club in Britain. They boast 4 Olympians and 1 Olympic champion in the crew. Conditions on the Thames are atrocious. This should be as tough as it gets.
Full compression. Go! Yeah, over the waves, boys. Keep it crisp. Over the puddle. Sit tall, boys. On the legs. Sit tall. Yeah, we're inching out, boys. Nearly got clear water.
Oxford's new lineup has worked.
Each person sits behind someone that they know is going to go and go and go.
Leander's Elite 8 have been left behind.
No matter what the conditions are, no matter what Cambridge does, these guys aren't going to break.
The only worry, the final test might have been too easy.
Easy there. OK, grab a drink.
Mrs. Heather Boxer is a key part of the Oxford crew. She's been putting them up for the last 18 years.
It's a relaxed environment. I think that's the advantage of it. It's a family home.
It's a bit of a kind of an Oxford tradition now, and it's kind of part of the race. Everyone looks forward to it and gets quite excited about coming.
The final days can be fraught. Not this year.
I've had to put up with the most ridiculous banter for the last...
Basically, every time we eat, we just think, man, I hate Cambridge. So at the end of the week, we're just going to probably want to eat their sort of parents and children for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Good, Cambridge!
Woo! Everything gonna be all right this morning.
Find the rhythm! Good!
It is a problem for Boris Rankov, who is imbued in the history of this race. He's seen most of what it has to offer over the years. He won it 6 times with Oxford, late 70s, early 80s. He was the umpire of the extraordinarily close race of 2 years ago.
OK, crews get ready, please.
And now he is ready, and now they are ready.
Body relax. BT hold water. BT hold water. BT relax.
Preparing themselves for immense physiological trauma here.
It's coming down now.
Attention! Go!
And down goes the red flag, and the Blues are away. Their journey 4¼ miles, but the first quarter mile, the first minute is critical. The dash for early dominance, the battle for position, the location of the stream, the calculation of the upcoming bend and the breeze. Tim Foster.
It was an awful start by the Cambridge there. Tom James, the 7-man in the Cambridge boat, just missed the water completely on the first stroke. After all that sitting around, all that waiting, he wasn't really ready for the start. It's very tricky, the first stroke, but yeah, he missed that one out completely, and Oxford have the early lead.
A clear early advantage to Oxford, and it is Cambridge who need to have their noses in front here. They chose the Middlesex station for a reason, Wayne Pommen, and it is not going as they would have planned off the Stoke boat.
That's right, they've already given up maybe 1/3 of a length. They need to hold Oxford here, they can limit Oxford's lead, and soon they're going to have a slight bend in their favour coming round to the right, and they want to come out of that in a very good position.
Along the Fulham Reach, past the boathouses and the various overflowing pubs on the Surrey side, with Bishop's Park on the Middlesex bank, and we can hear now from the two Coxes, and first of all Oxford's Asa Nethercott. And Pete Rudge of Cambridge. And we heard from Boris Rankov for the first time in the race there. Oxford have been warned. They are eager to get across and nullify the advantage of Cambridge's bend as we approach Craven Cottage.
Yeah, Craven Cottage, very key marker. The very point of Craven Cottage, level with that, is where the first bend is at its maximum point. So Oxford trying to creep over and get out in front of Cambridge, upset their water, upset their rhythm, and kind of nullify the inside of the bend advantage that they do have.
So far, this is a repeat of last year. Oxford have shot out with a very fast start. Luckily, there hasn't been a serious clash. Now the question is, can Cambridge push back in? And they appear to be moving a little bit on Oxford now.
Well, position at this early stage absolutely vital, because now that they have reached the end of the Fulham Wall and they've reached Craven Cottage, the first of the bends is unwinding, a bend which favours Cambridge on the Middlesex side to the tune of something like 1/3 of a length. And it is essential from their point of view that they are at least level by the time it has unwound.
You can see now that Cambridge are trying to find their rhythm. They've got the inside of this bend, they've got to make it to their advantage, and they are starting to creep back. After that poor start, it took them a while to find their rhythm. They didn't get into the strength, the long sweeping strokes. We can see in our pitch now, Cambridge is starting to draw level.
It is developing into a good one, even at this stage of the race. A long Crabtree Reach with just more than 1/4 of it gone, and even given the extraordinary level of fitness that these guys attain, they tell me that the body is already crying stop. 3 miles or so to row, and already it is mind over body. Accurate blade work, each stroke as efficient, as smooth, as long, as harmonious as the last. And Oxford have a small advantage, and the course favours them from this point on.
That's right, Oxford have actually put themselves in a very good position. Cambridge challenged them, they came right back up on them, but now Oxford are rowing with a very good rhythm, a better rhythm than I've seen them have in many of their training sessions, and actually the advantage is now swinging their way as the course turns round to the left.
The end of the straight here is signalled about 300 yards past the milepost by the imposing Harrods Depository. It's more than just a famous landmark, that it is a signal that the contest is reaching very literally its turning point. First gently, then very suddenly, very markedly, they are shifting westwards and then southwestwards through the Surrey Bend. It is a bend which offers about 3/4 of a length advantage to Oxford, whose president Robin Bourne-Taylor you see there, and it is about halfway to the crown of the bend that they will reach the Hammersmith Bridge.
Oxford pushed on very well there. Their number of strokes per minute went up from 34 to 35. It's traditionally a strong Cambridge part of the race. They like to push at that part of the river. It's Oxford who went from level to take a half-length lead as we approach Hammersmith Bridge.
There's a look at Cambridge there. They're just not rowing as well as they have done in practice. They're not rowing as well as they did 2 weeks ago against the German crew. It's looking a bit heavy, a bit laboured. On the other hand, here Oxford we see with a very good rhythm. They're feeling more confident by each stroke. Cambridge has to do something drastic to get back in this.
Right at the apex of the bend on the Surrey side, the playing fields of St Paul's School going past them now, a school which has produced so many fine rowers itself. There is Andrew Triggs-Hodge, who is going to become big in the world of British rowing. Jason Flickinger, the most powerful man in the race, right behind him. And Cambridge falling further behind. Let's hear again from Asa Nethercott steering the Oxford boat.
Finish clean! There! Yes, boys! 6 months! Every erg! Every session! Together!
I think Oxford have put in a major move there. They pumped their rate up as high as 37. Cambridge, meanwhile, were on 34, 35, and now we're seeing Oxford with possibly quarter length, even half a length clear water. And now they've steered in front of Cambridge. They can go wherever they like now.
12 minutes of the race road, 5 or 6 still to go, into Corney Reach, past Duke's Meadows. Fantastic support from the banks for either side, and a vast flotilla following, but it is a flotilla being led almost unassailably now, you would feel, by Oxford, whose cox Asa Nethercott now has a view of Barnes Bridge, and what a likeable view that will be. After 6 or 7 months of training, all those freezing mornings, all those stringent sessions at Wallingford for Oxford and Ely for Cambridge, and now they are passing the famous bandstand, which means that they have 4 minutes of that process still to go.
Oxford have rowed very well here. When it counted around the Surrey bend, they had an excellent rhythm, a better rhythm than Cambridge. Everyone thought Cambridge had the better rhythm, but Oxford rowed very well. Now they can smell the finish line. They know they've only got to keep this up for 2.5 more minutes, and they've won the boat race.
I think that's very true. I mean, we all talked about the Oxford power. They're big, they're strong, and we knew that would be a key factor. But what Oxford have done today is they've really rowed to their strengths. They've kept it simple, they've kept it long, and actually it's them that have had that efficiency of stroke.
I think Oxford have really attacked this race as well. The statistics we saw a second ago show that Oxford continued to overrate Cambridge. Now Cambridge has at least matched their rate, but Oxford, when it counted, were actually rating higher than Cambridge, which you might not even expect with a crew that big.
It's a fantastic feeling when you're out in front like that. Oxford know they can see the finish. They know they're nearly there. They can see their opposition behind them. They're going to win it.
Participation in the university boat race is a privilege. Defeat is an ineradicable scar. Victory, a badge of honour for life. And victory in 2005 goes to Oxford University. It is Oxford's for the 3rd year in full. They reduce Cambridge's overall lead in the series to just 6, and they level up the post-war tally at 30 wins apiece. And for Peter Reid of the Royal Navy, with whom he shares his digs and with whom he shared last year's agony. Also, at the back of your picture there, for their most distinguished president, Robin Bourne-Taylor, who has now won 3 of his 4 races.
Barney Williams, Oxford, what a race. What a performance by you guys.
The first thing that I did when I watched the boat races in the past was I sat there and I watched the faces of the people that won. And the elation that they felt, I just felt, and I couldn't tell you what it feels like. It's just amazing.